Tonight on Philly Sports Spotlight, NBA free agent Jason Collins comes out, and as you would expect, reaction to that decision is mixed. Former Eagles linebacker Jeremiah Trotter making his acting debut, and could a local hockey player find himself on someone's NHL draft board next month?
I knew that at the end of once my regular season ended with the Washington Wizards, that after the season was over, that I was gonna make this announcement and also, tell everyone, I could still play in this league, and I want to still play in this league. I still have a love for the game, and I still feel that I can offer NBA ball club, that veteran leadership and I think I've proven by doing this that not only will I talk the talk, but I'll walk the walk. And I think everybody in the league respects that.
Good evening and welcome to Philly Sports Spotlight. I'm Phil Andrews, and that, of course, was 33-year-old Jason Collins, who recently grabbed headlines everywhere as he came out and into the open regarding his sexual preference. Collins' coming out was first embedded between the covers of the most recent issue of Sports Illustrated magazine, where these collection of words couldn't help but grab your attention. I'm a 34-year-old NBA center. I'm black, and I'm gay. With those words, the 12-year NBA veteran escaped a self-imprisonment that in return may also help others escape theirs.
Well, it's a really tremendous day, both for professional sports and for our country. I think, Jason Collins has immediately made himself a role model to young lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people around the country who now see an openly gay athlete at the highest level.
Collins went on to say that I've endured years of misery and gone to enormous lengths to live a lie. I was certain that my world would fall apart if anyone knew, and yet when I acknowledged my sexuality, I felt whole for the first time. And for the most part, support for Collins has been overwhelming. NBA Commissioner David Stern responded with, "We are proud he's assumed the leadership mantle on his very important issue." Twitterville was also a twit. Jason's twin brother and former NBA veteran Jaren tweeted, "Very proud of you." Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant, "Don't suffocate who you are because of ignorance of others." And First Lady Michelle Obama, "So proud of you, Jason Collins. This is a huge step forward for our country. We've got your back."
Yeah, I told him I couldn't be prouder of him. One of the extraordinary measures of progress that we've seen in this country has been the recognition that the LGBT community deserves full equality. I think a lot of young people out there who are gay or lesbian, who are struggling with these issues, to see a role model like that who's unafraid, I think it's a great thing.
Of course, not everyone will be on board with Collins publicly announcing his orientation, but then again, that's their right.
Players are going to be a lot more accepting than the public is. We've all played with gay players. I think the one thing I want to come out this conversation, though, to be honest with you, is some people is not going to like this. I think they should have the right to express that. We should not crucify them. I disagree with them, and it's all right to disagree. But we live in this thing right now where anybody who comes out against it is going to be crucified, and I think that's unfair.
Jason Collins also stated in the Sports Illustrated article that if I had my way, someone else would have already done this. Nobody has, which is why I'm raising my hand. Actually, someone else did come out publicly, albeit after his NBA career. Back in 2008, former Penn State and NBA player John Amici wrote the book Man in the Middle, in which he talked about being gay and playing in the NBA.
There's a posture that is assumed by NBA basketball players and by elite athletes in general. You're supposed to be this tough guy who's not sensitive, who is mildly misogynistic to very misogynistic. You're supposed to be homophobic. You're supposed to be you're supposed to spend money in ridiculous ways, all these things. And there's a posture that you're supposed to assume. And people do it as a defense mechanism just so you fit in. And the fact is, I was on teams with just great people. And some of them assumed those things, but when they realized, John's a bit different. He's English, he drinks tea before games, he reads books, he writes poetry. It just became what John does, and it was never an issue. Though outside of the team concept, you knew that they still had this posture that they took on.
By the way, one final note here. Collins acknowledged that his uniform number, 98, was a quiet pledge to gay solidarity. He says his family and friends understood it was a tribute to Matthew Shepard, the gay college student who was tortured and killed in a hate crime in Wyoming in 1998.
Now, as I told you earlier, reaction to Collins' announcement was varied, but one reaction that actually really caught my attention involved former Green Bay Packers safety Leroy Butler. You see, Butler, who voiced his support for Collins via his Twitter account, was forced to cancel a speaking engagement at a church and forfeit an $8,500 speaking fee. Apparently, the church not in tune with Butler's support of Collins. But as you probably all know, Collins is not the first athlete to announce their sexual preference. Back in 1981, tennis players Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova stepped out, as did Olympic diver Greg Louganis and tennis star Amelie Mauresmo. More recently, former baseball player Billy Beane, not to be confused with Billy Beane of the Moneyball movie fame, former NFL lineman Esera Tualo, figure skater Johnny Weir, and most recently, former Oakland Raider and 49er Kwame Harris. Of course, maybe Collins' announcement will help open the door for other athletes to do the same, because as you heard earlier from Charles Barkley, there are others in the game. And as we get ready to take our first break and do so, this week's trivia question focuses on Collins. He has a twin brother named Jaren, who also played in the NBA. The question is, which brother was drafted by the league first? The answer coming up a little bit later on in our show. Also still to come, former Eagle Jeremiah Trotter making his acting debut, and we'll give you a sneak peek.